Older men who venture in relationships with younger women are usually motivated by a mixture of fascination, physical attraction, and a desire to feel revitalized. Often, they believe that their experience, maturity, and stability can fill any emptiness caused by the generational difference. However, what many of them end up discovering is that youth is not only a physical state, but an energy, a life approach, a rhythm that does not always synchronize with their own. Here lies the lesson they did not anticipate. Initial chemistry can be explosive, the contrast between the new and the experienced, between curiosity and wisdom accumulated over the years. But in the intimate field, where skin and emotions meet, the real challenge emerges. Provocation can be mutual, but synchronization is essential. A young woman, with her vibrant energy and a different sense of what pleasure means, seeks more than a physical act. Search connection, an experience that goes beyond surface contact. For many men, this connection requires unlearning what they thought they knew about sexuality. What worked in the past is not enough. Seduction is now more complex. It is not just about words or gestures, but about being present, of understanding that intimacy is a dynamic exchange. A man who is not willing to adapt, listen, to explore and learn, will soon face the harsh reality that youth is not simply something that can be possessed, it is something that needs to be shared in its own terms. The age difference can also expose vulnerabilities. An older man may feel insecure about his ability to satisfy a younger couple, while she can question whether her interest is genuine or if she is simply being seen as a decorative figure that enlivens the ego. This is where the importance of honesty and communication comes into play, recognizing limits. Expressing desires and establishing clear expectations can transform a superficial experience into something significant and enriching for both. In addition, sexuality is not just about what happens at the intimate moment, but also how it is built outside it. The previous game begins long before physical contact. It is the conversations, the looks, the small attention that build a bridge between generations. A man who is able to appreciate and admire the complexity of a young woman beyond her physique, who gives her space to be herself, without attempts to control or domination, is much closer to discovering real and satisfactory intimacy. However, some men do not learn this lesson. They cling to an outdated idea of masculinity, believing that their position, their status, or their experience are sufficient to conquer and maintain the attention of a young woman. In these cases, the result is usually an emotional disconnection, where the relationship becomes uneven, unsatisfactory, and even unsustainable. On the other hand, those who are humble enough to recognize that there is always something new to learn, they find that intergenerational relationships can be deeply transformative. Youth can be a spark that revives its curiosity and energy, while its maturity can offer guidance and support that transcends superficiality. Ultimately, the greatest lesson that an older man can learn by relating to a younger woman is that pleasure and connection are not based on age differences, but on the ability to find himself at a midpoint where both feel valued, respected, and desired. Sex, at the end of the day, is just a part of something much broader, the search for mutual understanding, an emotional connection, and an experience that enrich their lives. When age barriers stop seeing as an obstacle and transforms into an opportunity to learn and grow, a space where sexuality can flourish unexpected ways, instead of trying to replicate patterns of the past. The older man who enters a relationship with a younger woman has the possibility of rediscovering desire from a deeper approach, leaving behind rigid expectations and exploring what intimacy really means. Human desire does not have a fixed formula. It does not respond solely to physical attractiveness or accumulated experience. It is a shared language, which requires adaptability, sensitivity, and an understanding that each encounter is unique. This is where many older men discover that, although they may have decades of experience, there is always something new to learn. A younger woman brings with him a different approach, perhaps more free, perhaps more curious, who challenges preconceived ideas and demands full presence. It is not about impressing with grandiloquent gestures, but about showing authenticity, of being willing to listen, to respond, and let the moment evolve without forcing anything. The provocation, that spark that ignites the fire of desire, also acquires new nuances in these relationships. It is not just a matter of seducing or being seduced. It is a game that implies the same level of participation. The young woman does not look for a teacher, nor the older man needs to prove something. What really builds a connection is the ability to create a space where both can express themselves freely. In this sense, vulnerability becomes a powerful tool. Recognizing your own fears and insecurities, instead of hiding them after a facade of trust, can disassemble any barrier and allow the relationship to reach a much more intimate level. In addition, it is important to note that sexuality in this context is not limited to physical encounter. It goes further, entering the territories of respect, admiration, and curiosity for the other. An older man who really understands what it means to connect with someone younger does not try to impose their rules, but seeks to understand her, adapt, grow, and discover new horizons together. In this exchange, both have something to offer and something to learn, and this reciprocity is what makes the relationship prosper. However, not every man is prepared to assume this challenge. Some are trapped in a superficial approach, where the age difference becomes a symbol of status, a way of feeding their ego or reaffirming its masculinity. These cases, although common, are rarely in a lasting connection. The young woman, conscious or not, will look for more than a reflection of vanity. He will want authenticity, genuine interest, and, above all, respect for his individuality. On the other hand, those men who understand that true power is in the ability to adapt, listen, and build something that transcends time and differences, will find that these relationships can be a source of personal and emotional growth. Age may seem like a barrier from outside, but for those who are inside, it becomes a bridge towards mutual understanding. It is in this space where the initial provocation, that game of attraction and mystery, becomes something much deeper, a shared experience. If you like this type of videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this.